Hello and welcome to Carine and Company. This is moxa we used a little bit ago, and as you see we still have a little discoloration from the moxa, but I'm going to remove it right now because we're not going to do the belly button at this time. We're going to do REN 7. I'm sure you can probably see a needle right there. It's 1 cun below the umbilicus, midline, and this needle can go in 0.8 to 1.5. This is a very slender person, so I don't want to take it too far, too deep into her REN 7 point. So what we're going to do today is explain what REN 7 does, and then we're just going to do some rice grain moxa, which is, you'll see in a minute, just these little grains of rice. We're going to stick them up straight on her REN 7 point, and it's just to really just bring warmth to the channel. Whether you have issues with menses, maybe your menses, you have too much blood flow, maybe you have irregular menses and you haven't had blood flow in a while, that would help. But what this acupuncture needle would do is regulate your menstruation cycles. If you have infertility issues, this is one of many points we would use to nourish. Plus with the moxa, we'd really want to nourish that yin channel to help warm all the lower jowl and the genital areas. So whether you have urination issues, whether you can urinate or you cannot urinate or it's burning, acupuncture would be fabulous. But let's say it's cold and you can't urinate. Using moxa would, in this lower jowl, would create a lot of heat, a lot of warmth, and it would help with the kidney and bladder area to help move the urine. Whether you have retention or you have dark urination or the inability to urinate. So needles would be used if your body runs warm and you're not, we wouldn't use moxa if it already has too much heat. We only would use a needle to help bring the chi in and moxa to warm. So we wouldn't use moxa all the time. So if you have lumbar pain, this would be a nice point. I would probably needle and then follow up with some rice grain moxa. Nosebleeds is due to heat, so I'd probably just use a needle. If you have, sometimes what happens is we get damp heat that drops to the lower jowl or into the genital area, and some people get a lot of heat, burning. We wouldn't want to do moxa, but these points here could help address that issue with itching and burning. And the last thing I think we're going to talk about is just any type of abdominal pain, cramping. We could either needle or moxa. And again, you have to be a licensed acupuncturist to do this. You really need to know what are the signs and the symptoms. So this is just basically to talk about REN 7. So again, I'm going to remove this little needle. You can see it's a sarin needle. It has a little green tip, and I'm just going to lightly remove it. And then I'm going to start with our little rice grain moxa, and it's 1 cun below the umbilicus, and it's dead center. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Vaseline there, and then I'm just going to grab my little rice grain moxa, which is pretty small, and I'm just going to stick it on REN 7, and I want it to stand straight up. You can see it. I'm going to put my glasses on for this because I've got to be careful. So then I'm just going to light. You can either do a noodle or you can light a little incense stick, and then you just lightly touch it on here, and as you see, it lights. The whole point of this is to allow it, let me get this out of the way, allow this little rice grain moxa to burn down. We don't want it to burn the natural skin. And once it gets low, I'm going to lightly pinch it off like this. And it's getting low, so I'm going to pinch it off. And then it does this to your fingers, which isn't a big deal. But did you feel the heat of that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. So she felt it, but we're going to do one more time. We're going to do another moxa. This is rice grain moxa. And usually, it's this, there's many different kinds, but it's this foamy, it feels like old foam. And what I would do, you can do it on small boards. I just usually take the palm of my hand, just lightly roll it, and there's my rice grain moxa. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my little lighter, and I'm going to make sure there's no ash on the end that could drop on my client's stomach and burn her. You have to really pay a lot of attention, and you really have to practice this. I'd suggest, if you're a student, that you practice it a lot on your legs or your knees. But again, this is REN 7. It nourishes yin, it nourishes blood, it nourishes the lower jowl, and it creates healing, warmth. And if you're having infertility issues, this would be a really great point. If you feel weak, fatigued, or tired, this would be a great yin point. So again, this is rice grain moxa on REN 7. Thank you.